Hey guys, today I'm here with Rohini Elise, as some of you might know her. Today we're going to be spilling some FIT. But really we're doing an FIT Q&A, and I posted on my Instagram and she posted on her Instagram, and I also posted on my Snapchat. So we're gonna go down the list of questions and just try to answer them as best as we can.
Spilling the tea.
And just as a disclaimer, we're not answering any questions that could have been found on the FIT website or on like Google or something, because that would just be wasting time in the video when you could just look it up. So Talia KS asked FBM versus AMC, and for those of you that don't know, that's Fashion Business Management versus Advertising and Marketing Communications, and we are both AMC students.
And our friends are FBM.
Yeah, a lot of our friends are FBM, so we kind of know both sides. I would say the main difference is like FBM is definitely fashion centric, whereas AMC is not necessarily fashion.
Yeah, like I feel like advertising, you could just take one of our classes and it could be at any school. Like it's not fashion oriented unless your professor is like really into fashion for some reason.
Yeah,
you really couldn't tell the difference.
The only thing that AMC does focus on in fashion is like sometimes like the teachers will try to give you a project that's like about some sort of fashion company, because they know that like a lot of the students are into fashion, so they just want to make it more interesting for them. But
like all the textbooks are the same as other like non-fashion.
There's students
textbooks
in my classes that specifically say I'm not here for fashion, like, and they're just there for the advertising program because it's really good at FIT. So that's the difference. And I know a lot of my friends in FBM learn a lot about like buying, about retail, and there's like a lot of math in FBM. AMC there's like no math really, and it's more about like being creative and like less about black and white.
AMC is more like writing and computers, and FBM is more like math and like buying. Madison Huber asked, what is something about FIT that you wish you had known beforehand?
Well, one of the things that I wish I had known, but it wouldn't have been like a make or break if I was going to the college or not, but I wish that I had known that like the classes are like 3 hours long. And
yeah,
like,
every freaking class.
Yeah, every class is 3 hours long, and if it's not 3 hours, it's 4. That's annoying, but if I knew that, it's not like I would be like, I'm not going to FIT because of that.
I would say something I didn't realize is that even though it's a fashion school, like we talked about, like the classes aren't necessarily fashion focused, and it's not any easier or more interesting than like a regular school. I thought the classes were going to be a little more like interesting since it's a fashion school, but it's pretty much just a regular class.
So something else I wish I knew about FIT before going is that it's really challenging to change your major if you change your mind.
Oh yeah.
Not that I want to change my major, but like if I had known, that might have been made it a little bit scarier for me to go in. Literally almost every single person I know at FIT wants to change their major, and you literally just can't unless you want to start over and be like years behind.
Oh, that's a good one. Like I don't really like AMC, and I would rather switch into like communication design or interior design, but I would have basically thrown away the whole last year pretty much.
Yeah, and then
you have to reapply to school, you have to drop out of your program. Like
it's very so rigid because like it's a very specialized school, so you start in your major right away and you're taking your credits for that major right away, so you can't like
switch, and
nothing transfers. So yeah. Square Samantha asked, would advertising and marketing majors be more beneficial outside of the fashion industry than FBM? Like we were just saying, definitely if you want to do something outside of fashion, do AMC. I really don't think either of us want to go into fashion, so like we're in the right major.
I think that like we learn more general skills that are needed in like the corporate workplace, just for like marketing and communications and all that, and FBM's like much more specialized. So if you wanted to work, there's like a long list of things you can do under AMC that you can't, like PR and journalism and all these other things, and FBM you can't do any of that.
FBM is basically just being like a buyer, a stylist, or like a retail manager or something like that. But if you're into that,
oriented,
do that. Yeah.
A lot of people are asking about making friends. This specific user v.llar I guess just asked, how did you make friends? And there's a lot of people said, is it cliquey? Like, how do you branch out and make friends? He was like, you should answer this because you make friends. I honestly don't find it so hard. Like if you go
But she's really outgoing and friendly, so
yeah.
That's just
if you go into it with a closed mind, then you're not gonna make friends. Like you're just not gonna make any friends. I don't know. I've made quite a few friends from my classes just from being like, hey, do you know the homework? And then it just like goes into being Instagram friends, and then boom, there you go. And like once, it's really nice being a commuter. I notice now, like my friend group is getting like much bigger, because as your friends make friends, like your squad at the beginning like grows bigger and bigger, and then you just have like a whole group of friends before you even know it, which is nice, because at the beginning I was like, dude, there's no one on this campus that I can talk to right now.
Yeah, you meet people within your major, and like because you have to take like so many specialized classes, they're in every single class with you, so like you get to know people just by being forced to be together. And like if like making friends is not your thing, like it's totally not my thing. I'm super introverted and shy, like we're like opposites, but it's really easy like to make friends just by being in your classes with the same people every semester, and like you kind of just know them by association, so like you just have that like base of friends within your major, so it's good that you're like never really alone, like if you run out of options and don't have friends on campus. But definitely like connect with people in your major and in your grade on social media, because that's how we met. That's how we met our other two friends who we were supposed to originally room with, and that's how like a lot of initial connections are made, like through like the Facebook group or whatever. So another question that was very popular was, what kind of stuff did you write about in your essay? And this specific question was from Tess X Clement, and it's hard for me to remember because that was like over 2 years ago, right? Well, they want you to focus it on why you belong at FIT. So like I took the route of like talking about how I didn't belong in my hometown, and like I kind of just explained how like being into fashion and like being into like pop culture and all this stuff like in my hometown was very like ostracizing. So I took that discussion on why I felt ostracized in my hometown, and I kind of twisted that into like why I feel like I belong at FIT, like in a city environment. And like I also kind of added into my essay that I took like pre-college classes at FIT, and then I took them at LIM too, and I think that like really helped me get in, because it showed I was like committed to going and I was really interested into college. So
I also kind of wrote about being from a small town. I grew up in like a very small island town in Washington, all the way on the West Coast, and I wrote about how like I started my fashion blog when I was a sophomore, and how that's like doing that has opened my eyes to being like creative. And then I also wrote about being in like student government and like being in charge of a lot of things, and how that's like taught me responsibility, and just like, yeah, basically like I want to get the heck out of this small town, like I have bigger dreams than that. Honestly, I don't remember, like I kind of pushed that out of my head, because it was like once I said it I was like, ugh, I'm done.
Yeah, just follow like the prompt and like just be creative about it, but also don't try to be like praising FIT so much to the point where it's like ridiculous, because it's not really about the it's not about the college as much as it about you being like good for the college.
Yeah, and make sure that like you take your time on it, and like have other people read it too, because you don't want it to sound like a blog post or like something like that, you know, just have someone else read it too. Like, sit with it for a little bit. But I mean, other people I'm sure will write it in an hour and it'll be perfect.
So Juliet Elitorio, I'm so sorry, asked, what do you want to do as a job related to your major? And do you minor in anything? She also asked, are you a part of the honors program? If yes, how is it? So as for the major question, I don't think either of us really know yet. Like no one really knows. But like if I were to choose my career right now, I would say that I would want to be like a social media manager, or like in public relations for like probably like a makeup or skincare company. So that's what I'm like thinking about now, but who knows where I'll be in like 3 more years. So how about you?
I also don't know. I'm debating like doing online interior design school. I'm very into like, I want to do something more creative, maybe do like concept design or branding for different companies. I mean, love that too. I want to work for myself. Like I'm trying to get to a point where I don't have to work for anybody else. Yeah. So we'll see what that entails.
I would love, sorry to cut you off.
No, it's okay.
I would love to like one day have like my own like social media marketing company, or like my own PR thing, so I could like, I just want to like be my own boss, honestly. Like, do you minor anything in anything? Yes, we both are minoring in the same thing, right?
Yeah. I mean mine probably won't go anywhere, so I'm probably not gonna stay.
Yeah, as of right now we're like pursuing the creative technology minor, which I think is new. Basically, it's sort of like beginner's graphic design. We're only on our first class of it right now, and it's just a Photoshop class, so like
just like doodling.
Yeah, so who knows what it's gonna end up, but like I just think it'd be a good thing to have on your resume. So, and are you a part of the honors program? No, we're not.
I don't think you really need to I mean, unless you're hella smart, like, I don't know if there's so much of a need. FIT has a good reputation. Abril Batista, that's a cool name, I hope I said that right. What was your worst experience at FIT? What do you recommend for freshmen trying to make friends? We talked about that. Who was your favorite / least favorite professor so far? Do you think the stereotype of commuters not making any friends is true? I mean, we kind of talked about the friends part, but worst experience at FIT. Me already kind of made a video about it, sort of.
Yeah, but honestly, it's on private right now because like it was a little bit scandalous.
Yeah, we had this man, Professor Man, together. he was really creepy. He kind of wanted to like marry me or work. I don't know. It was not that.
And
pleasant.
like it wasn't just her too. Like other girls in other classes had the same experiences. So I'm not sure exactly how he still has this job.
Yeah,
but like,
we didn't learn jack. Like we did not learn anything in that class. I did not. Honestly, nothing. And the same semester, I had another professor who was also very interested in me. Like, they're both old and just weird. I don't understand what it is. Maybe because my dad's old, they just think I'm like too friendly or something. But we ran a class like a drill sergeant, and it was such a hostile environment. Like, I literally had such bad anxiety going in there, that class. I had to like brace myself, and then after I would just be like, because it was so like such high stress, and he would hit on me, and it was just like, oh my god, this is horrible.
To answer the question about best and worst professor you ever had, like I don't know, I don't want to put names out there, like, so I'm not going to.
Yeah.
I had an art history professor who ruined my life.
Yeah.
Like going into her class was absolute hell. Like I went as far as like reporting her to the
she did that
department, and I never do that. Like people who know me know that I'm very understanding and chill about teachers. I generally, like my mom was a teacher, I generally don't like, I'm not one of those like girls that, you know, freaks out about the smallest things, but this teacher was like horrible. So if any of you take art history and you are suffering with that teacher, you'll know who I'm talking about. And as for the best professor, I've had a lot. We've had some characters together.
Yes.
This one mass comm teacher, and she also teaches like other things. She's the best. She's this like older woman who lives in the Upper East Side. And, like,
such a cool life. She's had such a cool life.
She's so cool.
She's
and
so nice. It's just like coming to like a friend's class.
Weird ones.
The one we have right now, we don't have it together, but Publicity, he's so good. Like he's so good. My favorite class.
So straightforward, so experienced.
Yeah, wastes no time.
Yeah.
The assignments are interesting. It's like, oh, the best.
And you can tell he knows his stuff. Like he's
actually a popular publicist. Oh, do you think the stereotype of commuters not making any friends is true? I mean, if you start off commuting, that can be pretty hard. Now I feel like I'm being more social because I'm commuting, because like most of us stack our classes so we don't have to go back and forth home all the time. And so like you just kind of hang out around campus and you like meet up with your friends and talk, and I don't know, I feel like it's more of a like typical college experience than last year. There's a lot of people that said, is FIT worth it?
I mean, it's very cheap for like a college.
Yeah, especially once you get in-state, it's like dirt cheap.
I think it's worth it. Like like the school has a good reputation. Like it's a good degree to have. Personally, I don't really have any problems with FIT that are like big enough for me to like say it's not worth it, but I don't know what you think.
I mean, I definitely don't regret coming at all. Like it's the best choice I could have made is to move here and like come, but I don't know. I've had way more bad classes than good classes, so that's been disappointing to me. But I mean, I think it's worth it just for the experience and living in New York. Even if you just get your associates, like that's still gonna help you out a lot. So
SGGE Angel said, what are ways to meet people without joining clubs, and should I start working during the first year or start during sophomore year? Well, first of all, I feel you because I'm not a club person whatsoever. Like I did join the cosmetics and fragrance club, but I never went to anything because like I'm very antisocial and scared. Without joining clubs, I mean, we have already talked about this, but like you meet friends in your classes like just naturally, and you'll meet friends through your friends. So like it's just kind of just happens naturally, unless you're completely sheltering yourself, which like can sometimes happen.
Also, if you go out, if you're a night owl, I met a lot of people doing that.
Yeah.
Not that they're the most like study friends, but still it's connections, people to hang out with.
And I would say like, I think we both agree that like if you're gonna get a job in the city and you've never like lived there before, it's good to start working at least in your second semester of college.
Like if you can.
Yeah, because it can be a little bit much if you like get a job, are in school, and you're moving to a new city all at the same time, and you have like no time to adjust really.
Yeah, because it depends how your schedule is. Like that could mean that you don't have any days off, or like your homework gets too overwhelming, and it's just like if you can, or just wait like a couple months just to see how it goes, you know?
Yeah.
Or like over winter break. We have such a long break, that'd be a great time to like start looking for jobs.
Yeah. So the Isabella Ray asked, I started taking pre-college courses at FIT on Saturdays. Are they worth the time? Will they benefit me into getting in?
Did you see that there?
Yeah, and I see someone responded to that saying, I took 2 pre-college classes and didn't get in, which is surprising to me because I thought that that was something that really helped me get in. But I did take the pre-college classes at FIT and LIM, and also at Art Institute of Philadelphia, which is like a scam school, so like I wouldn't suggest that, but that was just an extra thing to put on my resume, on my application. I think it helped me get in, but maybe that's just because I worded it differently in my essay. I made it really seem like it was part of the reason why I felt like I belonged to FIT, because like I experienced what campus life was like, and like it solidified that for me. Like that's how I made it sound. So I think if you word it correctly, it could help you a lot, but I don't think it can guarantee that you'll get in.
Minal with like a bunch of A's asked, she was saying that she's having trouble getting an internship and like advice to get internships, which is like, it's the time now, like usually sophomores are getting internships, or like they had them over the summer. Usually everyone gets internships over the summer if they're like, you know, trying to hustle, which a lot of people are at FIT. They're like go-getters. But I got an internship. I was looking after first semester, towards the end of the year. I wanted one just to have, like I felt like I could fit into my schedule, and I just wanted that. My parents were like, okay, like you have enough money coming in, blah, 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 you don't need to get a job. Like you should try to find an internship, something you're interested in. So I was like, okay, and I went on Indeed.com, that has a lot of stuff on there, and I found some things, but then I just happened to go, I'm like, oh, I'll go on Craigslist, even though nobody really uses that so much anymore. I went on and I found this like kind of obscure, like not that much details internship, but then I went to their website and it was just so cool, and I applied. I sent in my like resume and my portfolio because I like do graphics and stuff, and their interior design, concept design studio called Mercer Project. You should look them up because they're really dope. They do like One Oak, and anyway, yeah, so I still interned for them part of the summer, part of the, what was that, spring, and I'm back again, and it's been like amazing. I mean, I don't get any credits because FIT makes it very hard to get credits, which is something, also another thing I didn't like realize. I try to come to them with my internship, and it's like a accredited institution. I'm learning a lot, but because FIT didn't supply me with that internship, basically it's very hard to get credit for it, and I would have to do a bunch of stuff and take classes to go along with it, and I was like, whatever, like I'll just put it on my resume, you know. So yeah, just go on like ask your friends, go on Craigslist, go on Indeed, like something. If you really want an internship, I feel like you can find one.
Hania Luna, sorry if I said that wrong, said, what is the overall atmosphere? How do people interact with each other, / how different is it from a regular high school environment? Definitely not the same as high school. I don't think any college is like the same as high school necessarily. There are friend groups and there are cliques, but it's not like high school cliques. It's like
they don't really get in your business.
Yeah, like no one really cares about each other. Like if you're not in so-and-so's friend group, you don't really care about them. And like it's not in like a bad way or anything. It's just like kind of everyone's minding their own business.
Yeah, it's how New York is. Everyone's doing their own thing, and like it's not really, you know, anybody's concerned what's going on with other people.
But there definitely is like groups.
Yes,
it's very separate.
It's like, so fun to like watch.
Yeah, and like but it's cool
because the like cool kids with cool style and the models and the blah. It's like
it's cool because like it's different from high school where like there's like a hierarchy, but here it's just like everyone's cool
in different areas. K Rian, sorry if I butchered that, said, what's the homework like? Is it more studying or more creative projects? Which I thought was a good question because that was another thing I didn't really expect. I would say pretty much all of the major classes anyway for AMC are just boring old textbook PowerPoint, like write a paper maybe twice a semester, do a project. Lots of just plain group projects with a PowerPoint. You all go up and talk about it. I was a little bummed about that, honestly.
Yeah, like you do definitely expect to be more creative, but like sometimes you can get creative with it. Like sometimes they'll they'll let you choose a company to like do like a profile on, or like they'll let you like make something up. Like it all depends on the class.
But if you do like your elective classes, like if you have like a graphic design class, or those projects are really cool. And homework, honestly, not that much homework.
No, it's not. It's definitely manageable.
Yeah. Like, they say to read. You're pretty much in every class I have a reading every week, but don't actually do them. As long as you, I mean, that makes me sound bad, but like if you pay attention in class or you take good notes, like you'll pretty much be fine if you just study before the test. It's like it's not too hard.
So on Snapchat, Alex D asked, what were your grades like in high school? And I think this is something everyone wants to know.
Spill the tea.
Basically, I had like a 92 out of 100 GPA, so it was like
so
a B.
weird you guys do that. We don't do that.
Yeah, my school was weird. Like,
they just like, you know.
It translates to like a 3.2, I think.
Really?
3.19.
That's not very good.
I know. Yeah, my grades were not exceptional, and I did not take any honors classes. Like, I took one honors, no APs. Like, I was not an impressive high school student. I think it's more about like your experience and your like passions. But like, what was your GPA? Like a 4.5?
3.85 or something. And I was very involved in school and had all those thingamajiggers because I was so damn bored. If I didn't, I would literally go crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think that really matters. I've heard a lot of people with like really average GPAs get in. I mean, they definitely don't take like very crappy GPAs.
Yeah.
Because they don't take SAT, so if all they really have is GPA essay.
That's another thing. They don't take SAT scores, but like if you give them and they're lower than average, you'll have to take like remedial classes, like, but you can test out of them, but no one I know has tested out of them.
Yeah, the math one, oh my gosh, it tortured so many.
Like, so many of my friends had low SAT scores for math, and they ended up in this like remedial math class where they can test out, but the tests are like apparently really hard. And the class isn't for credit, so they force you to take it for no reason, which I think is really stupid, but.
Yeah, I didn't do, like, I did literally average on all my SATs. I didn't even study for it because I knew that I wanted to go to FIT and didn't need it, but I placed into all the, I mean, if you get like an average SAT score, you'll place into all the normal classes, which is nice.
Yes.
Jasmine.odongo, that's a cool name too, asked, is it overwhelming to be in such a big city and well-known fashion school? Do you feel a little lost in a way, or on the way, and inferior to everyone because they look organized and know what they want? That's a good question.
Very good question. We love the specifics.
Yeah. Is it overwhelming? I personally don't think it's overwhelming, but living in Chelsea can be kind of overwhelming.
Oh yeah.
Living in Midtown is like very hectic, and I'm so glad, I think we both are, that we got the heck out of there and moved to Brooklyn because it's much more relaxed.
If you're like someone who like thrives in like fast-paced environments, it's like, not gonna be
it's like, oh yes, I need to be rushing all the time.
Sometimes I'm in that mood where like, especially like we were saying about New York, like everyone minds their own business because everyone's busy. Like sometimes I love that because I'm like, I'm so happy no one's paying attention to me right now. Like I'm having a bad day, like I don't want anyone to talk to me, and like
same, I love that.
It's so good to be able to like walk down the street and like know that you're just like in your own world, even though you're around so many people.
No one's paying attention. The second part of that question was, do you feel a little lost on the way and inferior to everyone because they look organized and know what they want?
Honestly, for me, sometimes I do get like a little bit, like I feel like this person really has their shit together and like why don't I? I mean, everyone like literally progresses in life at different paces, so like you can't do that.
Also for me, it's mostly been like these people are so goal oriented, like they already know what they want.
Yeah.
Like a good percentage of, I mean, FIT's already specialized, and then when you get a major it's even more specialized, so like there are some fashion design students that literally have so many ideas for their own line and know exactly how they're going to do it, and like they're, you know, 19. So at those times I'm like, gosh, why do I like not know exactly what I want to do with my life? Or why am I not like interning at 7 places and working? And I feel like guilty that I don't want a corporate internship with some big like fashion house.
Sometimes you can feel like the odd one out, but there's so many people just like you that you just don't know about.
Lost though, I would say I'm like definitely a person that believes that like,
yeah,
it's like you make your own destiny, you make your own choices. Like I don't feel lost. Everything is gonna happen that needs to happen, and like, you know, so I don't feel lost. But the city honestly helps me feel not lost, because there are so many places that I can like test my strengths and my creativity and stuff, so I know that I'm not just wandering around like aimlessly.
So another Snapchat question was from Cashmere Ho.
Love that.
Yeah. And she or he said, when is the best time to apply so I can get first dibs on rooms? In parentheses, co-ed hall double.
Good luck.
Thanks for taking my suggestion. That's definitely the best thing to be in, but there's no like good time to apply for FIT. They consider everyone's applications at the same time, no matter when you applied. Like, they really do. You could apply the first day the application opens, or the last day you could possibly submit it, and they will still, like, you might get in, like, before
my roommate Grace applied literally a day, like a couple hours before the deadline. She found out 2 weeks before I did, and I applied like way earlier.
It's totally random. Like, they read everyone's, I guess, at a random rate. It's not about like timing, so like definitely don't feel pressure to like apply soon or whatever, because it's not like a rolling admission school or whatever that's called. As for like picking the rooms, like you do get assigned a time to do that, but it's random as well, so you can't really do anything about it.
And like we were supposed to live together with our other 2 roommates from last year. We were confirmed. We went through the first 2 steps. We were like, yes, we were confirmed to all live together. And then the last part of it,
actually selecting the rooms, all the quads filled up, so we had to split up into 2 and 2.
Yeah. So.
And that happens to a lot of people. But good luck. I hope you get that, because it's the best.
Yeah. Nagler though, 7th floor and up is actually pretty nice now.
Really?
Yeah.
From Snapchat, Melanie XOXO said, was it hard finding your way around the city in the subway? Did you get to do anything for Fashion Week? And do either of you have jobs besides YouTube? So number one, it wasn't hard for me because I live close to New York, my hometown. So like I came here a lot growing up, and like I basically already knew the city before I came, but definitely learned the subway and like the city a lot, like 10,000 times better when I actually moved here. It's not as hard as it seems.
I came from a place with absolutely pretty much no public transportation. I had to drive everywhere, and the mall was 45 minutes away. So, I mean, it was definitely, I had to take a ferry boat to get to a mall and a Starbucks.
Crazy.
Yeah, so it was definitely a big change for me, but it's confusing. The whole uptown, downtown express, and local, blah, blah, blah. That at first is like, what the hell is going on? But if you get like the subway maps on your phone, and you just check, like always check the little dots when you go in the subway to make sure you're going the right way. That can just save you so much time instead of just hopping on and realizing you're going like completely the wrong way. But it took me a while.
We did not do anything for Fashion Week because we hate fashion.
Yeah, we do.
Just kidding. Like, I don't hate fashion.
Actually, I did. Well, I didn't go to any shows. They have like a long line that you can stand in to sign up to work the shows at FIT, like the cool shows. Mia and I aren't really interested in that.
That's for like the FBM students who like are into
really want to be backstage at Michael Kors or whatever it is. But which is awesome if you are into that. My friend Laura, shout out Laura, was visiting. Yeah, she was visiting from Seattle. She's like a blogger, big blogger in Seattle, where I'm from, and she was visiting with a bunch of her blogger friends, blogger babes, and they were going to a bunch of events, going to tons of shows, and she just brought me along to Lulu's party, which was so fun. Like, I like the parties. I'll go to all the parties, the free drinks, like I'll go to that for sure, dress up and take pictures. That's more my like steez than going to shows. But from her, that we learned that it's super easy to go to shows.
Yeah, so probably
next year we'll probably do that. Now that we know we don't have to wait in a 4-hour line.
Or like in the spring maybe.
Yeah.
Do any of us have jobs besides YouTube? I have applied to 21 jobs, people. Like 21 jobs in the city, and I have not gotten one. So I mean, I'm not complaining. There's a lot of competition for jobs here. Obviously, like there's 8 million people in New York, so like jobs are very hard to get, even if they're just part-time jobs. But I know a lot of people who do work, so it definitely must just be me. Like, I don't know what it is, but so I don't have a job. I've been living I've been living off the very small amount of money that YouTube makes me and my savings. And that's basically it. But I did just become a Glossier rep. She's joining the fam! So that will be another extra little income, and then also just like brand deals throughout, like sprinkled throughout. How about you?
I'm a Glossier rep. Have been since like March or something, last March, which has been really, really fun. Really exciting. Love their products. So yeah, that's been like one of my sources of income since moving here for sure. And I did social media, like freelance, last year as well. Like I ran this company's social media. And I'm also starting that up again with a different like company. And yeah, basically that's pretty much it.
Yep.
Social media. We like to do the freelance things. We don't really like to be tied down if possible.
Yeah,
So,
which is hard. Like, I have no money, but that's okay. I would rather be poor and like not be stressed about a job than like have a job, have no free time, but have money. If that makes sense.
Oh, and I worked a lot before I moved here. Like I had like a normal 9 to 5 coffee shop job that I saved up like a lot before I moved here. So for the first like 5 months, I lived off of that.
Yeah, I drained that whole thing. Got me through.
Yeah,
like,
same.
Yeah,
definitely would recommend having a savings if you're gonna move here because it saved my butt.
You will go through it and like that.
It's so sad.
All of the above said, is dorming at FIT worth it or getting an apartment in the city way better? How hard is it looking for apartments in New York? I definitely think dorming your first year or semester is like a good idea because especially if you're new to the city, it's a good way to like get acquainted and like comfortable because you're right there on campus. But dorming sucks for reasons that I've talked about so many times. They're strict with rules.
Like it, though. We don't like it.
Yeah, but you can't have like any, well you can have visitors, but it's very complicated to have visitors. It's ugly.
It's crammed.
It's crammed.
So crammed.
You don't have your own, you don't have any privacy. Like, it's just, everything sucks.
Sucks if you have a boyfriend.
Yeah, it does. Getting an apartment is stressful.
It's very hard.
I was lucky, like we were lucky with getting this apartment because we got it, and like no one else stole it from us before we got it, but I know a lot of times like people will apply for an apartment, get it, like be about to sign the papers, and they'll be like,
snatched.
It got snatched. And like they can't do anything about that because like New York is in such high demand for living at all times, so like people are always looking and it's very, very competitive. So
it was a little harder for Sage and I because we didn't have a guarantor. Like they had
guarantors make life so easy.
They had a guarantor, stable income, all that, and we were trying not to because he's in the military, I have stable income, blah blah blah. But it was still like they wanted 80 times the rent. Which is like $160,000 a year. I mean, what 21-year-old really makes that? Like, what 30-year-old makes that, you know? So that's frustrating. It takes a long time to meet the right broker in the right place. Took a long time. But
and be expecting to throw money right out the window. Like,
oh my god.
There's so many fees. There's broker's fees. There's like first month's rent, security, like so much money that you just don't even know you have to pay.
You have to throw down almost $7,000
right up front, like to get the apartment.
Ridiculous.
And then like you have the cost of the apartment like on top of that. So it's like just
getting
like
an AC, getting the Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Do not go into getting an apartment when you have just the bare minimum. Like have like 2 times as much set aside because you're gonna need it.
Yes.
So we thought this was a really good question. XOAlexis_ said, if FIT wasn't in a location that it's in, New York City, would you still go to school there? I don't think so. Like,
I wouldn't.
Like I don't know. Like
no.
I feel like if it was in like Kentucky, I would be like, I wouldn't even consider it. Like, I mean, obviously. The location was definitely like 80% of the reason why I wanted to come. And then like, it was just, then it came down to like narrowing down between the schools in New York, and I think FIT was just the best school for what I wanted to do in New York.
I feel like I've grown and like learned a lot more about myself living in the city over like learning at FIT. Like the city has helped me like learn and grow way more than actually studying at FIT has. So like probably rather just take community college classes and live in New York than
definitely
go to FIT in like Texas or something.
Yeah. You become so independent living in the city, so I think that's like
very valuable.
A big plus to the college. And she also said, Abigail M. Young said, do you know anything about being a transfer student? Yes, because my best friend Sal is a transfer student, and I know a lot of transfer students, and it sucks. Like, FIT doesn't take any credits, Barely any of them transfer except for like maybe like your liberal arts, and you will absolutely be behind. Like, I don't know, like that's just how
But
it's
you can
gonna
catch up. You can take online classes over winter break, summer break.
Yes, Sal's gonna take classes over the summer so he doesn't graduate later than everyone, but you will definitely be behind if you transfer because FIT, I guess they just want their curriculum to be like unique and they want you to experience it, so they don't accept any major area credits.
But there's a lot of transfer students.
There's
a
a
lot,
ton,
so it's very common. Don't feel like you'll be the odd one out because you won't.
So for our last question, one that kind of sums it all up is Mads Cat says, do you think that attending FIT is giving you the opportunities needed to network and ensure you have a successful career after graduation? I would say yes, because the professors are so experienced and I feel like I really did learn a lot, and not to mention it has a really good reputation. I think if any employer sees that you have a degree from FIT that you'll get the job, or you'll at least have clout.
I think living in New York gives you a lot of networking skills.
Oh yeah.
So even just living there, not with FIT, helps you a lot.
So my camera's about to die, so we have to end this quickly. But sorry if we didn't answer your question. This video is going to be very long as it is, so we didn't want to overload you guys with info, but more will be coming in the future. Yeah, so thanks for watching.
Bye.
And I'll see you guys in my next video. And check out her channel too if you haven't already.
Follow me on Insta.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.